English for All channel. How are you, my student? Here too. I am so happy to be with you today. Our session today will be about chapter 6. The title is Spring at Last. What the meaning at last? Coming at the end. At last, that the season spring comes at the end. Let's read. One morning the giant was lying awake. What the meaning of lying awake? Lying means sleeping but opening his eyes. He now sleeping on the bed but opening his eyes. Awake, opening his eyes in a bed. When he heard the burst of heard some lovely music, it sounded so sweet. The sound was so sweet that he thought the king's musicians must be passing by. What the meaning of musicians? People who play music are called musicians. Must be passing away means crosses or cross on the road. But the king's musicians were not outside. When he looked here from the window, he didn't find any musicians in the street. The music was coming from a little bird. Look here. There is a bird, little bird, small bird on the window. He was singing. The bird was sitting on the ledge. What the meaning of the ledge? The edge of the window, just outside the giant's window. It was singing. The bird was singing happily. What the meaning of happily? The way of singing. It's adverb. We took this at pupil's book or learner's book. The way of singing is happily. How he sing? He was singing happily. It's adverb. The giant was amazed. What's the meaning of amazed? Surprised. It had been such a long time since he had heard a bird singing in his garden. There is long, long, long ago that snow singing in his garden. So suddenly now he heard a sound. He heard music or a sound or a lovely music in his garden. He thought the best of thing. He thought it was the most beautiful music in the world. The music was very beautiful. When the hail, do you remember hail that I told you before in chapter 5? The hail is what? Who can tell me? Small balls of ice. When the hail here stopped racing all over the roof, the hail stopped racing, coming all over the roof of the giant's house. The north wind heard the music and stopped roaring the way of what's roaring? The sound of the north wind is called roaring around the giant's garden. The frost stopped drawing patterns on the giant's window. The frost, the shapes of ice or snow stopped. There is no buttons now on the giant window. And the snow quickly melted away. We said before that melted means the water changed from ice into liquid, leaving the soft green grass uncovered. Now the soft green grass, no ice on it, no frost on it. The sun came out and warmed the garden. At last the sun came and the warm would be inside the garden. A delicious fresh smell came through the giant's open window. He sat up in the bed and he smiled happily. How did he do? He smiled happily. The way of smile it was happily. I think spring is here at last. So he now so pleased and said, I think spring is here at last. Spring came at last. There is quotation mark or speech marks because this is the speech of someone. The giant said this sentence. It's complete. The giant got out of the bed. He means that he stood up from his bed and went to the window. He looked out at his garden and saw what a wonderful sight. Do you see this? This is a wonderful, very beautiful. Wonderful means very beautiful sight. He saw this picture. This is a sight. The children had found a hole. Do you know the meaning of hole? Hole means small open in a high stone wall. This is a high whole stone wall, and the children found a hole inside it, and they had crept into the garden. What's the meaning of crept? The past of creep, go up from this hole. They had climbed in the trees, climbed the past of climb, and they were sitting in the branches. This is branch of the tree. This is branch of the tree. That is, we say branch. The plural are branches of the tree. What are they do? They are sitting in the branches or on the branches. The giant could see one child in every tree. When he looked here for this side, he saw what? He saw a child on every tree. Every tree, there is one child play on it and climb it. So they helped the trees and sitting in the branches. The giant could see one child in every tree, but he was not angry this time. This time he wasn't angry to see the children there. He was very glad. What's the meaning of glad? Very happy, because the long cold winter was finally over. He knows now the reason that the winter sit all this time in his garden, because the children was very sad of him. So now he very pleased, he very glad, he very happy, because the children come again. When they come again, what happened? Winter go out and the spring came. The trees were very happy to see the children. All the trees now are smiling. Look here, the tree is smiling because it's so happy that children plays on it. Again, so they had covered themselves with pretty pink and white blossoms, and they were waving their branches heavily. What does this tree do? She do what? The tree is playing with its branches. They use their branches, go left and right, up and down, and there is pretty pink blossoms come of this, and there is many flowers, and the branches of the tree are playing up and down in a gentle spring breeze. The birds were happy also. The trees are so happy to see the children in the garden again. So they flew. What did the birds do? They flew the butterfly around the children's head. Look here, there is a bird plays with the children. So they sang beautiful songs, and again the birds sang songs. The flowers were poking out of the soft green. What's the meaning of poking out? Going out, pushing out. Soft green grass, and laughing with joy, with happiness to see the children again. The giant was happy now. His garden was beautiful once more. So the giant now knows that is a very important thing, that he doesn't be angry. He should love all the children. He shouldn't be selfish again. That because when he was selfish, the seasons also be selfish. Only winter want to be here. No summer, no spring, no autumn. Only winter want to stay in the garden like this giant. The winter was so selfish like the giant, and when the giant be selfish, the winter stay alone long his garden. But all the countries around him has many seasons. The countries or the village has summer, and after summer autumn, after autumn spring, but in the garden of the giant no seasons but winter, because the nature is so angry of this giant, because he was selfish. Now he learned a very important lesson, that he must let the children come to the garden and play in it and be happy. So all things are in the garden happy. Trees, look here, the children are happy. They are all playing with the trees. They are climbing up, and the trees are happy also. And the birds are happy. They are singing beautiful songs, and there is many flowers on the trees. All the garden now are happy. And now winter go. What's coming? Who tell me what's coming? The spring now is here. So spring is a very beautiful season, and flowers came in the spring and go up. Sun, look here at the sky. The sun is so happy, so shiny. The weather is very beautiful. So all things in the garden are so happy. This is important lesson that the giants now learn it from this boys or these children. This is the end of our story today. I hope that you be interested with this chapter. I am so interested with you and I hope you be like me. If you have any questions, please write to me in your comments in the video. See you soon and goodbye.